Hey guys, this is a follow-up video of the heater core replacement for the C3 Corvette. I did some previous videos. I just wanted to follow up, give a few tips on how to get the box installed. I didn't go into disassembling the dash and disassembling all the components. There's some good videos out there on that, and there's some linkages there to tell you how to do that. I will give you some tips. So the box goes in when you replace the core and get the box reassembled. The box has to go in bottom first because the tubes on the heater core go out through the bottom of the floor. So you have to slip the tubes in the hole in the floor first, and then rotate the box into place. Make sure that you don't get any wires or vacuum hoses behind the box when you get it all lined up. Now there's 4 bolts that hold the box in. There's a stud here, and then on this side there's a bolt, and then there's 2 bolts on the bottom. So there's a stud that goes to the outside of the firewall. It's easy to get to. It's on the top. So I would put the bolts in first, then put the nut on the stud. There's usually a ground wire and a wire clip on the outside stud also, so don't forget that. Here's what I do to keep up with the tasks that I have to do to reassemble. So I have this list. Here of everything I have to do. So when I take everything apart, as I take things apart and do things on the list, I mark it off the list. So it helps me keep up with where I'm at, and when I find something or disconnect something that I might forget, then I add it to the list. So this list is updated as I go along. So I will put this list on the video for you to see. I've marked this. I'll put a clean list on there. This has got the items of where I'm at, so you can see I got 40 steps in here to install or to replace a heater core box. That is to disassemble the dash and reassemble everything back together. I'm halfway there. Other tips: when you reconnect the hoses or disconnect the hoses on the bottom of the heater core underneath the car, be safe. Make sure when you jack up the car to get under there, you use a stand. And I would recommend using safety glasses, because as you're connecting those hoses or disconnecting those hoses, trash can fall down in your face from underneath the car, and you don't want that stuff in your eyes. Is there anything else that I forgot? I think that's it. So I will add this list to the video. Like I said, I didn't go into great detail in the video on how to assemble and disassemble everything. Like I said, there's videos and lists, documentation already out there and links out there on the internet. I would just recommend you go slow, take your time. This is a 1980 Corvette, and it's a one-piece dash. So everything slipped up underneath the dash fairly easily, no problem. The only problem I had was the middle duct. When I pulled that out, that was a little bit difficult to get out, because I had to pull the bottom. See, the bottom of the dash comes out here. You can pull that out, so you got to be careful. You don't want to pull that out very far and crack your dash. Last thing you want to do is have to replace that, because this is a brand new dash in this car, and that's the last thing I want to do is replace that dash. So you be careful there. Put everything back like you had it. If you think you're going to forget something, add it to the list and mark it off as you go along. When I pull my screws out for a certain area, like for a vent or for the glove box or anything like that, I put those in baggies and I separate those for each individual component. So like the fasteners for the heater box, there was 3 fasteners and 2 nuts. For the stud, I put those in a baggie. And you can mark that baggie so you don't forget where that goes. You don't want to just dump your screws and fasteners, everything down in the bottom of your floorboard and try to remember where all that goes. You want to stay organized and do it step by step. Mark your steps off. Make sure you have a good list to start off with and adjust your list as you go along. So those are my tips. Thank you for listening, and hopefully it all goes back together fairly easily. I don't see really any issues putting everything back together, so thank you very much.